Welcome back in, Cult Lords fans. Here to do another movie review.
Cross the threshold.
And this one is Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver.
Oh.
The Scargiver, Dane. So,
I don't know. I feel kind of scarred myself, but go ahead.
Me too. Me too, after watching this. So, if you're new to the channel, we want to thank you for coming in. This is Part 2. We've already done a review of Part 1. If you want to go check that one out, take a look at the screen or the thumbnail here, and I'll put the link over it. If you want to go watch that first and then come back to this one. And then hit subscribe, hit like, and tell us in the comments, did you like Rebel Moon Part 2? Did you feel the same as Dane and I both did about this movie? And if you watch Part 1, you might have an inkling of what's coming here in Part 2. So I don't know. Now, if you're new to the channel, one thing we like to do is always have a drink. We've been doing this for 15 years now. Not on YouTube. Only about almost 2.5 years on YouTube.
Yeah.
But 15 in total.
October will be 2, right?
When we used to work together.
3?
Yeah, October will be 3 years.
3 years. Oh
yeah.
my God, it goes fast.
It does go fast. Yeah, and we're already up to 600 subscribers. Man, we are moving at a tiger's pace here. I mean, just knocking out those subscriptions.
Please, for the love of God, give us your subscriptions.
Yes. Now, we do like to have a cocktail. So,
yes.
Dane, what are we drinking this week?
You might notice I have 2 bottles up
Double
here.
fisting it this week.
Double fisting it. Both of them are Rebel, but are we going to go with the high-end Rebel? No, we're not! This movie does not deserve the 126 proof Rebel!
Okay.
We're going with a low-end version.
All right.
Which is only 100 proof.
Now, Dane.
Did I maybe give something away?
What was your rating again on Rebel Moon Part 1?
I think it was like 9.2?
9.5,
You might know.
I believe.
Was it?
I believe it was 9.5 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was up there. I know it was up there.
So mine was 5.8.
So we're, like I said, this is a little bit of a tipping my, what was it, revealing my cards here,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So, all right. Rebel, it is good anyways. Rebel 100, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. The regular one.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Is it spicy?
No, I prefer this one over the one we have
really?
over there. Yeah.
Well, the other one's definitely 100. I mean, it's 63 proof.
Oh, I know. It kicks
this
my
is
butt.
50. I mean, you're talking 13. I've never seen a 63 proof bourbon before.
This, to me, tastes so much better. So.
Yeah, well. Yeah, I mean, the Japanese whiskeys, as we have already commented on, they're more like smooth drinking. They're more for enjoyment.
But this isn't Japanese. This is bourbon.
No, I know.
Yeah,
but
so.
You had made a comment in the last one that we were talking about, like, this Rebel, because we did the review for Civil War.
Yeah.
Go check that out. And...
but I didn't comment on Japanese whiskey either.
Well, I did. I brought it up. You said,
I was talking about
this is
bourbon.
Not as smooth as...
Yeah, as smooth as some of the bourbons we drink. So.
All right, well.
All right.
What's next, sir?
Well, as a reminder, you did give Part 1, I think, a 9.5.
Yeah.
I gave it a 5.8.
Uh-huh.
So we want to see what the Cult Lords will give it again. But before we do,
I know.
Let's take a moment to see what the general population, the Gen Pop, feels about Rebel Moon 2.
The rest of the world.
The Scargiver. So
yes, the lesser ratings.
All right.
The Rotten Tomato lesser
The Rotten
ratings.
Tomato scores. Now, what do you think the critics have given Part 2?
Man, I think they're going to eviscerate this one.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go to your level. I'm going to 5.5 for the critics.
5.5. Okay, and then what do you think the fans gave it?
6.2.
So
and I haven't seen them.
So what was the first one?
5.5, 6.2.
Okay.
So tell me how right I am. Damn it.
Well, Dane, the critics gave it a 16%.
Oh my God! I didn't go low enough.
Yes.
16.
You are right. They eviscerated this.
Yes.
So 16%. And the audience gave it a 53%.
Woo!
Yeah.
I was at least in the vicinity.
Yeah.
I mean, it always amazes me that when the critics go like completely berserker on a movie, like,
Yeah.
I mean, 15%. I mean, that's like, like the worst movie of all time. It's not the worst movie of all time.
Well,
I mean,
no. Yeah.
I think that is specifically, and the movie just came out last week, right?
Last Friday.
So this I'm gonna change, but a lot of times I think the critics are gonna be like, we're going to definitely go after Zack Snyder because he's getting a little too big for his britches.
Maybe.
That's what I think is happening here with the critics, and I'm not saying.
Or it's just a crap movie. You know what I mean?
It's not Scottish, it's crap!
It's crap, I tell you.
Our slogan is, if it's no Scottish, it's crap!
So, all right, let's talk about the important scores, the Cult Lords ratings.
Yeah.
So this was just brought in to us, flown in, charter plane from Miami, where
Drop shipped.
our accounting firm is headquartered out of Miami. So Larry came in to the local chapter to deliver these scores, and our accounting firm is Deloitte and Douche.
Yeah. Did Larry wear anything in particular coming off the beach?
A
in
leisure
Miami?
suit.
Oh, a leisure suit. Okay.
Leisure suit, Larry. All right. So Deloitte and Douche. If you been cooking if you need cooking of the books for your taxes, we highly recommend them. They've been doing it for us since the inception of the Cult Lords channel. Every year they find the losses that we take, the massive losses that we take on this channel, help us get those.
Kept us afloat.
Yes. All right, let's see what our scores are.
All right.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. PG-13 killed the Rebel, 7.4.
Yep, same crap, reheated, 5.8.
Yep. So I gave the same score.
You gave the same score.
Yep.
I went way lower.
Yes, you did.
Let's go. Ooh, that's Zach getting his butt smacked.
All right. So you didn't like this one as much as the other one?
No. And in fact, I'm going to say, camera 2, can you please come in here?
Okay.
Zack Snyder, how dare you offend your audience? Shame! You're getting the shame bell! You're getting the shame bell! How dare you!
All right, wait. Where's camera 2 again? Where's camera 2 again? Let me say something. Zack Snyder, you are better than this. Man, there's some stuff that I've loved of yours, like the 300, and I liked the Snyder Justice League verse, with Superman and Batman. There's a lot of things you've done that have been great, but this, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of thinking maybe Disney did the right thing by not letting you take on Star Wars. And that's saying something because the new Star Wars sucks ass. Maybe you could have done a little bit better, maybe not, but this was very disappointing. So there you go, Zack Snyder. Those are opening oratories about this movie. So Dane, you liked it really a lot in the first one. What dropped off in the second for you?
Oh, man, this one just dragged.
Didn't it?
I mean, I thought, like, God, are you gonna... I mean, I really enjoyed the first one because I thought, okay, this is the intro. We got to have a backstory. We got to introduce the characters. You got some action mixed in there, but there wasn't anything that, like, kind of dragged down for my take on the movie, right. In this one, it was like, how much wheat can one movie stand? I mean, This is ridiculous. We don't need to see, like, every person cutting wheat.
Yes.
It's, like, no point whatsoever. I mean, that was ridiculous.
And even, like, with the training, with the straw man, it's like...
Tuck your elbow. Keep both eyes open.
Okay.
we've seen this like in Seven Samurai.
I mean, he was trying to do Seven Samurai.
We've seen this in Magnificent Seven. You know,
I think there's a term called on the nose. The nose is like this big. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and the thing,
so off.
And the thing, this was. I mean, obviously he had to change this up quite a bit, but just think, this was the blueprint of what he wanted the next trilogy of Star Wars to be. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I wonder how he would have had, like, incorporated, like, Luke Skywalker, and, you know, Han Solo and Princess Leia into this. Interesting. Maybe that would have been more exciting with known commodities like that, but
you know, on the note of the Scar, I mean, just other things. I mean,
Yes.
the problem with this entire movie was execution.
Yeah.
I thought there was a lot of elements here that were cool. I mean, there was the setup. There was the whole, like, okay, you've got farmers going against, you know, this giant battle fleet and everything. I thought that was cool in a setup standpoint. And then you had the, you know, the big giant battle in the end. But it's like, dude, there's a movie called Seven Samurai. You gotta copy that a little bit. I mean, there was just so much like off-camera stuff that was like, why do we need to see this? Why do we give a crap about this stuff?
I know people and writers in Hollywood are inspired by movies from the past, but this did seem like just a blatant ripoff of the Magnificent
but
Seven.
in a bad way.
In a bad way. And it was boring, and like the characters were boring, like, you know, and you know, just as they keep going down, you know what I mean, like
it's like, how many times do we need to see, like, hey, great job putting the straw together,
hey,
you know?
General Titus, you know, was his
there was always rah-rah shit
and then you know, then you had Nemesis with the swords fighting, and like everybody's fighting.
The coolest character in the entire
probably the coolest character gets killed.
Oh, we forgot about telling people about spoiler alerts, by the way. Sorry.
We're into spoilers. We'll just shoot up a spoiler alert. So, and then, you know, to me, the coolest character in one, which I complained about how they didn't show enough of, was the robot.
Yeah.
Voiced by Anthony Hopkins.
I fear we lost some measure of our honor since that betrayal. I'm afraid our compassion, our kindness, our very joy died with that young girl.
And still, even in this, they had some moments with him, but wasn't really big.
I know. I mean, it didn't almost make any sense because you know, he was like wandering around, watching what they were doing, and then she, you know, they, you know, I thought it was okay. They brought her ship back. They hid it. How the hell did she know there was a big cave behind the waterfall? I guess he was like, meh, and then he shows up. That scene I liked because she was like, whoa, like all of a sudden he appears, and so you're kind of like.
Hello, James.
They know he's around,
right?
But they didn't expect it.
And then she has a talk.
But then the whole time, to your point, you're waiting for him to show up
and do something.
Do something
meaningful,
right?
You know, like she has a conversation with him about like,
where oh yes, exactly. The line is, we've both been built to kill,
right?
You and I are alike, designed to kill them.
Yes, and you know the girl that he kind of saved in episode 1 supposedly reminds him of the daughter of the king that they were you know, sworn to fight and everything, and she's like, did that bring it back for you or whatever? And he's like, I don't know. I don't know.
I just decided that I don't like her to be dead.
Yes.
Something like that.
It's just ridiculous.
Paraphrasing. Well,
it's horrible writing.
I know. I mean, and it's funny because I was looking at some other stuff. Like Zack Snyder's used the same writing guy for a long time. These guys have done a lot of commercial for a long time, and I was just like, couldn't you come up with better ways to, like, you know, introduce these concepts from these characters? I mean, it was almost like Zack was given carte blanche to do whatever he wanted, and nobody like thought maybe we need to have somebody else review this script before you release it.
Right.
I mean, go ahead. I don't know what I was going with this, but
no. I mean, like I said, I've liked like 300. I liked Dawn of the Dead. I liked Watchmen. I liked Man of Steel. I liked the Justice League. I liked Army of the Dead. I liked Army of the Dead.
Lukewarm with that.
And, a lot of people didn't like Army of the Dead. I did. But I didn't like Sucker Punch. I've always made that known. That really disappointed me. And so he really was just only had one black mark on his resume to me. Now I'll make that 2 because I'm anxious to see what's upcoming for him. I know he's talked about doing another Army of the Dead.
For a while.
Yeah.
Right?
But does he build on Rebel Moon and try to make this a franchise?
Let me fluff your pillow for you here, sir.
Okay.
Supposedly there's going to be 6 of them. And here's the catch. Netflix, and this is why I said PG-13 killed the Rebels. Netflix insisted these had to be PG-13. But he wrote and actually directed 3-hour movies that are more like heavy metal.
Columbia Pictures presents Heavy Metal. A trip beyond the future to a universe you've never seen before. A universe of mystery. A universe of passionate fantasies. A universe of terrifying evil. A universe of magic. Heavy Metal.
Right.
Heavy metal versus Star Wars.
Sex and everything.
Sexual and everything, and he had to cut down so many things. Yeah. And then, unfortunately, that's why I said that. I think it destroyed these movies because, I like the first one. Right. But this one I thought was like, he was like, I got all this film footage of these guys learning how to do weeding and whatever you call the formal term of that. But it's like, I mean, that doesn't make it a movie. We don't give a crap about these characters learning how to do this because there's no backstory on it. You know what I mean?
There's a review here on Rotten Tomatoes by a guy named Noah W.
Yeah.
And he goes, way worse than the first one. Maybe the 4-hour cut with more sex and violence will be better. And then parentheses, it won't be.
Well, I hope it will be because I do agree. I think what was happening here is that he had filmed this full-on epic, journey and then had to cut out everything that was crossing the line. And unfortunately, I mean, Zach, you know what? I'm sorry, but you took the money. You took the money. Yeah. And you should have said, I am not going to go against my, what's the word I'm looking for? Betray my, what I want this movie to be.
Well, but I'm sure what Netflix was saying is, hey, look, if this had been Star Wars, Disney wouldn't have let sex and ultra violence be in there, right? So think of it as a Star Wars. We want to market it as that for everybody to watch, and then we'll let you do your director's cuts with, sex and violence, right?
Right.
What's the song? Something, is there sex in your violence?
There's no sex in your violence. There's no sex in your violence.
But, I mean, I think that's where this just, unfortunately, it became a massive editing exercise for him. And then it turned into like, we have all this wheat field. Well, that's okay. That's not PG-13. Let's do that. It's like, no. I mean, it should have been a giant, heavy montage.
All right.
That they should have just cut really quick. Instead, he went into this whole journey of like the feels. I gotta get the feels in this movie. And then you remember when Titus comes out and starts singing.
Yeah.
That was actually a pretty epic song, and it's actually a mix of African languages written by some, I think it's an African composer. So, okay. That's cool.
Yeah. So,
but it just doesn't work in this movie.
You want to know the moment that I actually found a little bit intriguing? What was when Scargiver, what's her name in this? Kora, I think.
Kora, yeah.
when they do a flashback where she is being told to shoot the daughter.
Do it! Kill her!
Oh yeah, that was a powerful scene.
Now,
That's why I didn't go lower. There was good stuff in here.
I thought like she was gonna say no and like run out or whatever. She actually does shoot the daughter, but the daughter says, "I forgive you," like before this, and then once she shoots her, like all this like magic sparkles just start spewing out of the girl.
I forgive you.
And like I'm like, well, what is that all about, right?
Right. I mean, and that was the beauty of this movie. That's why I didn't go as low as you. As I was like, there's so many cool little pieces in here that you could have done such a better job. Like, so you find out Issa is the princess. So that's the kickoff to the next movie. There is going to be a 3. And so that's the kickoff to the next movie. She's not dead. You find out that, when she said, "I forgive you," that she didn't die.
She raised up 3 days later.
I don't know, but the thing is that I didn't understand was like, why is the king's daughter magical? Yeah, I didn't understand that. She's the life giver or something. Yeah, like
remember in
she had a bird. She cured a bird or whatever. Yeah. So she's back. So here's the backstory a little bit here. Is there's the Jimmies, also called James, as she called them, those robots. There was 12 of them, and they were the guardians of all
disciples.
Yeah,
this is very
biblical. I know.
Almost, right?
They were called the Order of the 12, and they were the guardians of royalty. And all of them were killed except for one called, get ready, Bartholomew. And he supposedly is the one single one that's out there with Issa. This is going to happen in the third.
Zack Snyder and his writers go, okay, we'll take the Bible, we'll throw that against the wall, then we're going to take Star Wars and throw that, and then 1907, we're going to throw that. Starship Troopers, we're going to throw that.
Right. And so this movie, being that the Veldt, the planet, was the kickoff to, hey, wait, just simple farmers can defeat the Empire. Right. This is going to be the spark that starts the entire Empire.
And you know what?
The rebellion.
I actually thought they defeated the Imperial army pretty easy, all things considered.
I mean, it's like why didn't the army just? Well, I guess they had the grain.
Well, when the guy comes up out of the ground and he had
in the spider hole,
and he had the missile launcher,
the giant bazooka,
when it hits the first ship, and then you see the explosion just reach out and kill almost all of the frontline soldiers. Right. I was like, oh my gosh, that's all it takes to defeat.
There's a lot of shock waves.
Yeah, a lot of slow motion fighting too, which was ridiculous.
I know. I mean, Zach, that is his
calling card.
His calling card. And it's like, Zach, as much as we love seeing the slow motion shots, please tone it down. I mean, you can't have this on every single story multiple times. It's like, so, I mean, I read that they did a lot of research into actual World War II battles and how things to kind of build that scene up and all that. But I agree with you. In some ways, I'm kind of like, this didn't seem epic enough. These guys were building spider holes. All right. They got single shot rifles and all that. And these guys are coming in with giant tanks, I mean, I guess it was supposed to be a callback to the Ewoks.
I don't know. Listen, I'm not a fan of the newer Star Wars movies, but there was one or two. Well, there was one specifically that I really, really liked, and it's this one right here. Right here with the big moon. Yeah. It's Rogue One. Now, in that one, the rebels had to, bring down, the planet and the base, that was, but it seemed like it was much more thought out, and it seemed much more epic of the fight that those rebels had to take to bring down that planet, that station, and then get the readouts to the, guest star,
Princess
which was
Leia
bring
and all them, yeah.
get it to them. It just seemed so much more thought out and more epic. And it seemed like a great story of how that happened. And you know what? None of our main stars lived in that. And like, as they all died, and you realize, oh, you know, there's no really, you know, more life for these characters from Rogue One. They play their part. It was kind of like poetry, I thought, for them to not have, you know, a future and you know. So when you go back to
a satisfying ending.
When you go back to you know, A New Hope, and you see Mon Mothma, you know, talking about, you know, the Death Star readout, she says many Bothan spies died to bring us this.
Take it! Take it!
Many Bothans died to bring us this information.
Now that has so much more gravitas because you saw Rogue One, right?
Right.
So,
and they did I mean, to your point, they must have had multiple writers or a top writer. In this case, the writer definitely needed some help.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, the ending was cool. And you know, talking about the killing of everybody. In this one, the two people that died was
Nemesis,
which is the coolest character.
Right.
So they killed her off, the one with the light blades, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And then Gunnar, which is her lover.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, in this particular case, they're kind of like Gunnar. This is for Kora.
Is it Gunnar or Gunnar? I'm just wondering.
I don't know. It's probably Gunnar.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, in her particular, she's like, why does everything I love die? You know, so it's more for her growth than anything else.
Right.
And honestly, he was kind of a weak character. He
was. I mean, I said that in one.
You said that in first one, and I was kind of thinking, well, he redeemed himself in the end. But I almost think there's a little bit of the actor didn't know how to like really portray this character properly. But you know how it is. Sometimes the writing doesn't work. Yeah. And then the other one, you know, so those two died.
Let's talk about the villain real quick. Atticus Noble, Ed Skrein. So in one, I mean, I guess he was a villain, right? I mean,
I loved him in one.
They did a good job of building him up. But after he comes back to life and they bring him back to life, I don't know. He just kind of lost some of his gravitas.
He's just a little bitch.
Yeah, he's just a little bitch.
Sorry. I hope I'm not offending anybody, but he definitely was. And this one, it was just like, he wakes up, the doctor's like, wait, hold on. You're still attached, your brain is still attached to the thing. We need to make sure. And he's like, you know, forget that. I don't like any of that. I mean, he just acted like a little, you know, little child the whole time.
Now tell these idiots to release me.
Sir, as I've already told you, there are protocols before you can be cleared to resume command. Tests that need to be conducted to see if you are mentally and physically strong.
And you know what? I kind of got a little bit of they're trying to do like a little Darth Vader kind of vibe with him. Because, you know, Anakin almost died. And the Emperor revives him and makes him stronger, you know what I mean, as Darth Vader. I think they were kind of going for that vibe here, but it didn't work out. You know,
I mean,
now if they put him
stronger.
If they would have put him in a suit or something and a helmet,
that would have been funny.
Yeah.
Well, that. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, it was kind of a couple times I was like, is he that much stronger? But then you. I mean, I agree with it. Like they bulked him up somehow, but then his body wasn't bulked up.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Conor McGregor going from wimpy or lightweight Conor to suddenly in. What movie? Roadhouse. He's suddenly like huge. Yeah. So it's it was odd and in the R-rated cut, by the way, because Zach is going to release these.
Oh yeah.
3 hours apiece, you're going to see the head completely cut off when that was the satisfying ending of Kora finally saying, "You're not coming back." But he gets his hand stuck in a door.
Yeah.
It's like, it would have been really funny if it was like, "My pinky's stuck." And she's like, "Chop."
That's how this huge villain of the movie, it comes down. It's like, I can't move. It's like,
"My pinky! I can't get my pinky out!" And she's like, "Chop."
Yeah. Can you imagine Darth Vader going down like that?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
My foot!
Luke, yes. We can rule the galaxy as father and son. Oh, my pinky! I can't move my pinky.
Chop!
Well,
yeah, I agree with. The funny thing is I didn't even think about that. That it was like the wimpiest way to go out because he gets caught in the door.
Yeah.
And then she's just like, "I'll take advantage of this situation."
Yeah.
I mean, I like that scene. So we should say the last probably 20 minutes of the movie really moved well. Right? I mean, with the dreadnought finally gets exploded internally. And now it's really cool. Do you remember when she walks up to what looks like the engine room?
Oh, and it like looks up in the
and it was like
looking at
what
her.
The hell is that thing?
Yeah.
Is this like going into Dune territory with like a...
looked like a Medusa too, with the head having all those
I was like, is that a living being or is it supposed to be an AI thing?
And what is it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just like... So that's why I said, okay, there's cool elements in here. It
Could have
just was
been cool.
not executed properly.
Could have been cool.
What the heck is the thing in the engine room? If anyone knows, let us know.
Yeah.
But there was, and then the dreadnought's crashing down to the ground.
And then, what's so funny is like, she kills some people on that bridge that like fall off the bridge, and then I don't know if you remember
she kills them.
Yeah, like they drop off the bridge.
Oh,
or something like that. She's trying to get out of the engine room.
We missed the big thing, by the way. Was that the dreadnought lands? The bad guy walks out and says, "Okay, I'm here to take everybody, and you're a wimp." And then she's like, "Okay, well, just take me."
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. What?
So I was trying to make a point here. That was I thought was
I'm
really
leading
stupid.
to your point
right.
where I'm going.
So she's in that engine room now. She's trying to get out. And she's going across that bridge, and she like kills some guys that fall off.
Wrong
right.
Bridge. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And they go down, and then there's like people down there. They're like working, and then like people are dropping. As they come down, and they look up, and then she jumps off the bridge and like in slow motion. And she gets like 4 shots off, like pew, 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 pew. Like in a half a second, just as she's dropping down. And I'm like watching that, I'm like, this looks so stupid. It was just so ridiculous that you had to do the slow motion, and she gets 4 shots off in that one slow motion second.
He went a little too overboard with the slow motion shots.
But go ahead to your ending.
Well, no, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Okay.
Because there's a multiple bridge. Remember the bridge in the town, and then she, where I was going with this scene is that she is going to get picked up, and then she says, "I'm going to sacrifice myself. You take me." And then her lover's like takes her gun and then shoots the bell that starts the rebellion.
Yeah. Well, and he said, because she makes some demands. She's like, "You'll take the wheat, you'll leave all these people alone, or else you're gonna die." And he goes, "Okay, I'll take you upon your deal. I'll take all the wheat, I'll leave all the villagers alone, but the one cost is you.
Yeah.
You have got to come with me." I was like, if she would have been truly like a big hero, she would have said, "Okay."
Well, no, but she did.
Right. But the little lover,
the gunner guy said, "Nope, I'm taking your gun."
Yeah.
I mean, I actually was okay with that particular segment because I thought, to your point, it's like, okay, she's sacrificing her life for the village, and that makes sense in the character development. And then he grabs her thing. That I thought might have been that was out of character for him because up to this point he's always been like, "I'm following your lead," and then all of a sudden he's like, "Nope, I'm going to take your gun and shoot the bell,"
but
which
you know
starts the rebellion.
You want to make this like Star Wars? You make this like Empire Strikes Back, and you have it ending where he is taking her, and like the ship leaves, and like the lover and everybody else, they're just looking at the ship, and it leaves. Right? Mm-hmm. And boom, suddenly you got like an Empire Strikes Back kind of moment where they're like, and the next one, they're like, "We got to go rescue her." Right? But I guess that would have been too much copying off of Star Wars.
I guess. I mean, to your point, unfortunately, that would have been the end of the movie.
Right.
Right? I mean, That's it.
But, everybody in the village could have cheered and said, we fought him off. Of course, they did leave with the main character. But that means we got to fight another day.
Right. I mean, to your point, that could have been the next movie with Let's Go Rescue Kora. So the whole village, and all of a sudden they have to grow, in a sense. Then they have to go and find other...
She's at Jabba's palace.
They have to in a gold bikini.
Yes, she's in the gold bikini.
That would have been hilarious.
Luke Skywalker.
She could pull it off, I can tell you that.
Yeah, and then what's that one guy's name?
That would have actually, to tell you the truth.
Titus is there as a guard. He's got a helmet on. He's now employed by, the big bad guy. Jabba. So, they'd have to call him something else.
Actually, I'm guessing that they probably completely were like, no, we can't go in that direction. Because if she sacrificed herself and then left with them, that would have been the end of the movie. They would have had to get everyone together, and the next one, let's go rescue her. And then, Zach had different. If he's writing 6 movies, he's got beats that he's trying to meet in every single one of these. And unfortunately, Kara in a gold bikini under the foot of Jabba the Hutt is not going to work.
Oh well. Well, I didn't like this movie. It was much of the same. I mean, literally, there were times where I just put it on pause. I went and did stuff in the house. I came back and said, all right, I'll take another 20-minute swab.
Did some ironing?
Yes. Ironing all my shirts and everything. So, who irons shirts anymore? I don't do that.
You could have went along with it. You're so bored. I didn't get these shirts ironed. These are more important than this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am definitely, if Zach comes out with 6 3-hour movies that are his vision of what this should have been, my God. And then we're all like, what the F?
And then when those are done, Dane, a prequel, a three-story prequel to this. So
that's somebody else, right?
Yes. So.
All right.
Well, tell us what you thought, Cult Lords fans, down in the comments. Did you enjoy this movie? Dane still enjoyed it a little bit, giving it a C.
Yeah.
I'm down still in the F. But you tell us what you think down in the comments right after you hit subscribe and like. And Dane, please wrap this Rebel Moon fiasco up.
As in the famous words of Chewbacca,